Hey there, hi there, oh there, guys. Welcome back to the channel. How are y'all doing, bro? Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve today. We're going to try and have a video up tomorrow, but I can't promise as I have a pretty stacked day, as I'm sure most of you guys do. Though tonight, more than likely, we are going to be having a holiday stream. This honestly comes on the fruition that I am going to be going back to everyday streaming like we did earlier this year at the start of next year. We're going to be putting a little bit more focus on the channel, on the YouTube channel, maybe uploading a little bit less and taking some time to edit the videos a little more, do a little bit more research, as consistently I do find that some people don't like the style of me just posting my initial reactions and want me to dive deeper. A lot of people seem to find that my initial reactions are just not as well informed, which is totally understandable, and I'm sure is the situation with a lot of other people, as it's your first initial reaction to most things. But I totally hear you guys out, as it is a disservice to report on anything if I don't have the full broad spectrum. And I know a lot of people are saying that maybe I don't learn. I'm learning. All right, we're a little bit slow to the game, but we're learning. All right, I ordered us a green screen, so we're gonna hopefully be editing up a background for the channel, focusing more on some gaming news, some movie news, pop culture stuff like that, some internet drama from time to time, as we do here, as well as political news. Now, I do notice that there's a massive glare on my eyes. I'm so sorry about that. I'm wearing my old glasses. They have like really old style blue lenses, so they're really, really prominent. I apologize if it's affecting anything in the video, but I also wanted to kind of come over here and just talk really, really, really briefly about not just the future of the channel, but the future of our Twitch streams, okay? I work for a bank, so I'm off on Sundays. So we're going to be trying to do longer streams on Saturday evenings and Saturday afternoons, going from afternoon into evening, of course. And then on my days off, we're going to be streaming again a little bit longer than normal. Whereas every other day, we're going to be doing about an hour to an hour and a half streams. Hopefully just to get our face out there and get some people more over here on the channel, showing some love and all that jazz. Or hey, even hate, I don't mind it. Any publicity is good publicity, right? And hopefully, my opinions will be skewed and changed over the time and over the course of our career. And hopefully, maybe I have the opportunity to change a couple of years. We go and we eventually see eye to eye. As a lot of you guys know, I am relatively progressive, as you probably already know, considering the, bull ring, septum ring, as many people like to insult it as. But hey, a lot of people that also insult that do recognize my open-mindedness and enjoyment for just conversation. I don't hate you just because you have different views than I do. This whole channel, I wanted to start about spreading positivity. Yeah, we do get upset at some people. Yeah, we do attack others. But, at the end of the day, I don't believe that anybody is unredeemable. Well, there are some people that are unredeemable, like, the Epstein ring and all that jazz. But anyways, we're getting away from ourselves, right? So anywho, I just wanted to go ahead and give that notice that we're going to be extending our streams, going back to streaming every day. And then as well as sometime in January, probably here in about 3 weeks or so, I'm going to be taking a vacation from work so we can do our first subathon. I don't know much about subathons. I honestly kind of want to do my own little twist on it, where maybe, we drink a little bit with it, have a little bit more fun, have some board games and everything lined up, have a full stream outlined, where we're not just playing games, but ideally I do want to try and run through the Resident Evil franchise before Resident Evil 9 comes out. Now, if you are a long time subscriber, as I know there are at least like 40 of you guys, because we did pop up pretty quickly to that number before we started kind of plateauing. I am going to be going back and finishing the Silent Hill series that we did. We're close to the end of the game, like probably about 3/4 through the game. So we're going to be finishing that before we jump into Resident Evil 1. I know it's been a long hiatus. Ever since I got my PC, it's kind of a pain in the ass to go back on my PS5 and set up my capture card and, all that jazz. It is what it is. But hey, we're going to do it so we can at least finish that one before we do Resident Evil 1 through 9. opening night of Resident Evil 9, of course. Probably play through that a few times and then go back and play Silent Hill F, because I have missed that one. As far as everything else with the channel, though, pretty much all will be staying the same other than that. I do kind of want to touch up on a little bit of a annoyance that I have been kind of seeing. Okay, whoa. All right, yeah, let's take that away. My fault. But a little bit of an annoyance that I have been seeing in regards to Avengers Doomsday, where a lot of people have been hating on Doomsday and the direction of Doomsday and everything and where it's at, and how it's going to fail astronomically just because it's going back to, well, the beginning, I guess you could say, in the sense of like bringing back Steve Rogers, having Tony Stark, having, Thor and everything. And it's just like, honestly, I get the normies, right? But say you don't read comic books or you don't pay attention to comic books at all without saying it, right? You are here solely for the movies if that's how you see it, solely because that has been a huge staple in the history of all of comic books. There's only one rule in comic books, and that nobody stays dead except for Uncle Ben. And they are kind of breaking that rule with Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm not too far into the run, but they are kind of breaking the rule with that. But it is kind of, getting to that point where these aren't going to be for everybody. This might be the Russo brothers and the Avengers films' first non-billionaire movie, non-billion busting, non-billion breaking movie. And I say that solely because all of the hate that it's getting. Now, do I think that, people are going to be missing it? No. But Warner Bros. Announced that Dune 3 is going to be coming out, and they're thinking that they're going to be getting Dunesday, right? Everybody wanted to go see Barbenheimer because of the sole opposites of the films, right? The feel of those films were on complete opposite spectrums, so it was kind of a gag, right? With Dune and Avengers Doomsday, it's two sci-fi gigantic feats, right, that are together, that are kind of scratching the same itch. And right here, this was posted by Discussing Film, not Discussing Fish, but a lot of people in these comments. Well, I'll be sitting my ass in theaters for 6 hours on Dunesday. Okay, probably for both. Dunesday has a ring on it. Dune over Avengers, don't fold Dennis, Absolute Cinema. Kids waiting for Avengers Doomsday, Legends waiting for Dune 3. Honestly, Dune 2 was kind of mid to me. Dune itself was kind of mid to me, but, it is what it is. Another Barbenheimer situation, but nobody is picking Dune over Doomsday. Let's be serious. Like, the girls are fighting, all right? And it is not too surprising that they wanted to do this because they're two huge franchises at two huge rivaling companies, and ultimately they want butts in seats at theaters again. Now, obviously, whenever I try to go through, through the comments and everything, of course, now we can't find them, but a lot of people are trying to say that Avengers is not going to do so well against Dune, and that most people are just going to be seeing Dune twice. I don't believe that. I think that it's going to be another exact Doomsday situation, where Barbenheimer situation, where people are going to go see both, vice versa, one after the other. But it could spell disaster for the Avengers franchise. Could we see less second weekend opening numbers, or like only the opening weekend numbers do well and then it falls off really quickly because most people want to go back to go see Dune 3 instead of, Doomsday? Who knows? Only time will tell. I do like that they're trying to, keep this culture up of getting butts in seats and actually going to the movie theater. I personally love the movie theater. I think it's, probably the highlight of my month. I really like movies. I really like film. Me and my girlfriend go see a lot of movies. Our theater of choice is Alamo Drafthouse. Fantastic if you live in Texas. Service has kind of gone downhill when Sony bought it, but oh well. Anywho, what do you guys think of this? Are you guys going to be going to see Avengers Doomsday, or are you going to be seeing Dune 3? Are you going to be seated for both for the Doomsday double feature? Let me know down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And like I said earlier, Merry Christmas, fellas. Merry Christmas.